Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is the first part of a multi-part DVD and Blu-ray update. I'm splitting this series of update videos into more than one part because I got a ton of stuff from the recent March Madness sales from different retailers and different companies that I haven't shown anyone yet. And I also got a lot for my birthday from my most recent trip for my birthday, which I did a few days ago. So I just wanted to split things up into parts so you're not sitting here watching this video for longer than an hour. In fact, I hope I can get this under an hour because as much fun as I do have doing these videos, I know for some people they don't want to sit here watching me show DVDs and Blu-rays that I picked up from my collection for an hour or more. So that's why I'm splitting them up into parts. Now, if at any point my energy level dips or I get a little loopy, I do have an explanation for that. I did get my first vaccine shot, so I'm at the point now where I would probably be feeling the brunt of whatever the initial side effects are. So there is that. But without further ado, let's get into this update. The DVDs and Blu-rays, for the most part, are ones that I picked up from various different shops in downtown Portland a few days ago for my birthday. I had a blast. It was a long day, but it was a really fun day. I went to like 5 different shops in downtown Portland, and it was the perfect timing too because very soon after went out and went to these places, Everyday Music, Music Millennium, the Variety Shop, which is a record slash DVD VHS shop in downtown Portland. Um, as soon as I went to these places, the Oregon governor announced that the restrictions are going to be even tighter for non-essential businesses. So I might have made the last haul that I'm going to be able to make at those places. Uh, and for some of them, it might be the last haul period because they already were hurting due to being closed down for a year. And if they have to close down again, that's going to be devastating for businesses like this. And it does seem like the governor doesn't really understand that. And I understand her perspective, she's trying to keep the numbers down of the COVID cases and whatever, but I definitely feel for these businesses. And I hope a good majority of them are able to make it out of this because it's a sobering reality that a lot of places that sell physical media, used or new, uh, are going the way of the dodo. They are becoming extinct because of the rise of online sales and all of these other factors. So when you have an opportunity to go to these places and to actually physically go to a shop and look through all the media and get good deals on titles because the sellers do not charge eBay or Amazon prices, it's something that you should definitely cherish and hold on to and keep doing while you still can because there is no guarantee about any of these places, especially nowadays. So I paid a fair amount for what I got, but I personally feel it was worth it. I mean, there was a fair number of titles that I got that I definitely saved a lot of money on, and there's other ones I paid a little bit more than maybe I would have otherwise, just to help out a local business. Now, the titles that I have here are not all from the recent haul. Some of them are just ones I threw in here from other trips to other local shops. But for the most part, everything is compromised of stuff that I got during my birthday haul. And speaking of birthday, I am also getting a new 4K TV. It's a Samsung 8 series. I have a 6 series. Uh, and it's 4K. So I have a 6 series 4K TV currently, but this is the newer model. And I was thinking about upgrading anyway, and my grandmother needed a new TV, so I sold her my current one. And due to her help and some other donations and help from a few other people, I'm really not going to be paying that much at all for a new TV. It's like 20 or 30 bucks out of my pocket because everything else is going to be donations or gifts or something like or stuff like that. So that's really a deal you can't beat for sure. I'm actually going to be picking up that TV pretty recently within the next day or so. So I'm super pumped and excited about that. But anyway, let's get to the DVDs. So here we have Ugly Americans, Volume 1. This is a show that is incredibly underrated. Nobody talks about it, which is really too bad. If you are a fan of Rick and Morty, you should definitely check this out. If you're a fan of horror films, you should check this out. This is a really fun, creative horror cartoon that aired on Comedy Central. And I remember watching pretty much every episode when it aired. I was a big fan of it. And this is the only official release, and it's not the entire first season, which sucks. And the second season has never been released on DVD. Now, I don't know if I already have this or not. I don't think I do. I think it was on my wish list. I think I was planning on getting it, but I just never got around to. This comes with a field guide to Ugly Americans, which is pretty fun. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this show. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember it just being really a lot of fun, funny, very creative, cool animation. I mean, I love this cover art. It's totally a homage to EC Comics. So yeah, Ugly Americans. Here we have a Fangoria International comedy called Choking Hazard. Got it because it was super cheap, and it honestly looked like it might be kind of fun. Fun mix of practical gore and comedy from overseas. I think it's a German film. Here we have a film called Antibodies by Christian Alvart. Uh, Another one I got for cheap. Picked it up because it looked like it might be interesting. I definitely like the cast. Norman Reedus is a part of the cast. Then we have a indie film called In the House of Flies. Uh, Supposedly takes place in the 80s, has some soundtrack music from 80s iconic bands, and has some good reviews. In the House of Flies. Here we have Marooned with Gregory Peck and Gene Hackman. And next up is I Bury the Living, a old school film from the 50s, 1957, black and white. From the Midnight Movies collection from MGM. We have Wild Country. It's a film that I think I've heard. I think a friend of mine reviewed, and I thought it was pretty good, and it's got some decent reviews. Looked interesting. So Wild Country, uh, Tosh Point oh season 1, the Hoodies release. I remember watching Tosh Point oh when it first aired, so this is definitely a lot of nostalgia. This first season, Tosh Point oh ended fairly recently. I think it ended like a year or two ago, and I enjoy Tosh Point oh. I think it's it's a fun show. So I wanted to pick that up for a while now, so I'm glad I got it. It's only $1 too. I mean, that's a steal. Then we have Scary Movie 4. The only reason why I have this is because subscriber of mine requested reviews of all 5 Scary Movie movies fairly recently, and I have the first 3 on Blu-ray, but I don't have the fourth movie. I didn't have the fourth movie at all, so went out and picked that one up. Still need the 5th film though, but I'm not gonna pay that much for it because I've seen it before and it was awful. Here we have Crash. I know this has a fairly recent Blu-ray release, but I've never seen the film. I've heard about it, but I've never got a chance to see it. I know David Cronenberg directed it. And I know you have James Spader, Holly Hunter. So, Crash. Here we have Hiding Out. Now that I'm looking at this, I think I already have this. When you have collected things for years, you do run into situations like this where you're like, oh shit, like after you buy the movie and you bring it home, then you're like, oh damn, I think I already have this. And then you have to deal with that conundrum. But, it is what it is. If I do already have it, I'll just trade it in for something else. So, Hiding Out. Here we have Outrageous Fortune with Shelley Long and Bette Midler, a comedy from the 80s. Uh, I think George Carlin also has a bit role in it. Here we have The Bad Pack, the original Expendables in a lot of ways, featuring Robert Davi, Roddy Piper, Ralph Moeller. So, The Bad Pack. Film called Alone. Uh, Looked interesting. I like thrillers, so it looked like it might have some potential. So we got Alone. Here we have a Disney film, Midnight Madness. This is one that I've heard about, never seen. Features Michael J. Fox in his first film role. You also have David Naughton, who you might recognize from American Werewolf in London. Eddie Deason is also in it. Stephen Furst. Fun idea about this game that a bunch of people decide to play from a Dusk Till Dawn competition that is like a board game across multiple cities. So Midnight Madness. Here we have the Hollywood Knights with Tony Danza, Michelle Pfeiffer, Robert Wool, Fran Drescher. A fun coming of age throwback film in the vein of American Graffiti. Then we have The Wrong Guys with Louis Anderson, Richard Lewis, Richard Belzer, John Goodman, directed by Danny Bilson, who was behind the screenplay for The Rocketeer, along with Paul DeMeo. And this is the out of print Anchor Bay release, and I got it actually for a pretty decent price. This is one of those Anchor Bay releases that upconverts really well and looks really good. And this looks like a fun movie. I really like the trailer. John Goodman playing the bad guy. I mean, this is a great cast. So yeah, The Wrong Guys. Here we have Posse with Mario Van Peebles, Stephen Baldwin, and Billy Zane. Well, The Wrong Guys is a great transfer. This is one of those old MGM releases that has the wrong aspect ratio, or the transfer is just one of those that does not hold up well today. So when you try to play it on a modern TV, it's just too small, and you try to mess with the settings, and it's too screwy, and unfortunately, it does not hold up that well. But I think if I play this with just a regular old DVD player, it might look all right. But yeah, it's unfortunate that happens with a lot of these older MGM releases. But this is one that's out of print, and I've actually been wanting to see this because of the cast. And it's a film I'm surprised it isn't on Blu-ray. I really am surprised that it's not on Blu-ray yet. Then we have Prince of the City with Treat Williams, directed by Sidney Lumet. It's a really long movie. It's like 167 minutes, and it's 2 discs. So you have disc 1, and then you have disc 2. So yeah, really long film. But I've heard some good things about it, and I like Treat Williams. I've heard it's actually one of his best performances. So Prince of the City. Here we have Running Red. I got it for the Jeff Speakman collection. I know it's mostly just stock footage from other movies. I know it's probably pretty shitty, but I decided to pick it up for the Jeff Speakman collection because I've never seen that DVD anywhere. Another film I picked up for the collection is Mazes and Monsters. One of Tom Hanks's earliest roles, a TV movie. that deals with the dangers of Dungeons and Dragons. Um, Definitely one of those films that is a product of its time, but I know this DVD is out of print, so I decided to pick it up because it was actually a pretty good deal, and it might be a fun watch one of these days. Picked this up because it was cheap at a thrift store. The Fantasy Film Worlds of George Pal. So this is a documentary about George Pal, a director who did films like The Time Machine, War of the Worlds, and was well known for his Puppetoons, and I just enjoy documentaries like that. So this looks like it might be fun. Fun trip down memory lane. At least not necessarily my memory, but you know, other people's memories. This is one of my favorite pickups from a thrift store fairly recently. Superboy, the complete first season. Another out of print release. Uh, Got it for only $6. Really good deal. Would like to get the other seasons one of these days. But Superboy. Then we have the Blue Lagoon and Return to the Blue Lagoon double feature. Next up after that is Archive Collection, Warner Archive Collection DVD, Dollar for the Dead, with Emilio Estevez and William Forsythe and Howie Long. Made for TV film from the 90s. I think it aired on TNT. Here we have Matt Damon in The Great Wall. One of those films that you're just baffled as to why they even made this, but it's curious about it. Then we have Striking Range for the Jeff Speakman collection. Lou Diamond Phillips is also in it, as well as Yancey Butler. Seems like it's more of Lou Diamond Phillips or Yancey Butler's movie than Jeff Speakman, but I didn't have it, so decided to pick it up. And we have a film called La Cucaracha, with Eric Roberts and Joaquim Delamida and Tara Crispo. Got it because the idea sounded interesting. And a few more DVDs here. We have Losing It with Tom Cruise. I think it was his debut in terms of having more than just a few lines, because I think he was also in Endless Love. Thank God It's Friday, featuring Donna Summer and Jeff Goldblum. Loverboy with Patrick Dempsey. Robin Williams stand-up DVD, The Weapons of Self-Destruction. Film that stars a bunch of reality stars called The Scorned. And Elephant Parts with Michael Nesmith. This was one of my favorite finds as well. I actually found this the same day that I got Superboy, and I got them from the same thrift store. And this is out of print and crazy expensive. I have the VHS, but I had always wanted the DVD, but I didn't really have the cash or really didn't want to pay as much for the film at when it comes to the prices that it was going for online. So waited, and I'm glad I did, because I only got this for a couple bucks. It was a steal. So Elephant Parts, the original Anchor Bay release. It's been out of print for years. So that's it for the DVDs. Now we're getting to the Blu-rays. As I drop them, my apologies. Normally that doesn't happen. I think it's because my left arm is a little weaker because of the shot. So sorry about all that. Thankfully, they can hold up pretty well. All right. I guess I will limit myself to only a handful, not grab as many. My arm can't handle it right now. So here we have the 88 Films fairly recent release of Humanoids from the Deep. Now, the reason why I got this is because I did not have Humanoids from the Deep on Blu-ray. I only had it on DVD. And I really do like this film, and this features a new 4K remaster. Now, the Shout Factory release through their Scream Factory subsection uh, was out of print and going for crazy high prices. So it was actually cheaper to get this from 88 Films. And comes with a booklet, and it is region locked though. So that's the one drawback. So if you're not region free, this is not going to work for you. But if you're region free, it's worth picking up if you're a fan of the film and you didn't get a chance to get the Scream Factory release, because it's got a new 4K scan and it ports over all the other features from the other release. So that's Humanoids from the Deep. Here we have Iron Man 2 on Blu-ray, because as you'll see in the other part, I got a ton of Marvel movies for super cheap from a seller online, and did not have Iron Man 2. That was one of them that wasn't included. So Iron Man 2. Here we have Superman Unbound. It was only a couple bucks. I decided why not for a Superman animated movie. Spell. Saw a trailer for this last year. Looked like it might be interesting, so picked up the Blu-ray. And next up we have The Sum of All Fears. The only other Jack Ryan film I didn't have on Blu-ray other than Shadow Recruit, which I also picked up. I picked up that one at Big Lots, as well as The Sum of All Fears. And I also picked up the other Marvel film I didn't have on Blu-ray, The Incredible Hulk. So here we have some more Blu-rays. A couple ones that I picked up for my birthday. Blast. I've heard it's not that great, but these only cost me like $6, which is a pretty good deal. So these are MVD releases. So Blast with Lyndon Ashby, Crazy Six with Rob Lowe, Burt Reynolds. Got a 4K release of Hellfest. Got a couple steelbooks. These are ones I got a while back from FYE. Carlito's Way. I don't know why it looks so blurry. I think it's just the way some steelbooks kind of look on camera. My apologies. Doesn't look that bad on in person. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And then some more Blu-rays. We've got Fender Bender. Actually heard some decent things about this one, so I wanted to pick it up. It's one that I got for my birthday. It was from my Amazon wish list. Here we have a movie called American Hustle. Won Best Picture the year it came out. Looked like it might be interesting. Got The Gift. Film I've been curious about. I had it on DVD, but I decided to upgrade it to a Blu-ray for only a couple bucks. Here we have Ransom with Mel Gibson. Really good thriller. Wanted to upgrade my DVD because the DVD doesn't really hold up that well. Forgive me, I'm going to get a drink. Sorry about that. Next up, we have the Scary Movie trilogy on Blu-ray. So we have the first Scary Movie, second one, and the third one. Then we have Willy's Wonderland. Heard some good things about this one, so I wanted to pick it up. Nicolas Cage. Then we have Cowboys and Aliens. Then there is Skin Trade for the Dolph Lundgren collection. And then we have Parenthood, film that I really enjoy. One of my favorite Steve Martin movies. Only had this on DVD. Big fan of Parenthood. So Parenthood. Then we have, like, I would say probably the 3 Blu-rays that I got from my birthday haul that I was super excited about. So we'll start out with the Scream Factory release of Windows that I got for only $5. Yeah, A crazy good deal. Only cost me $5, and it's Screen Factory release, fairly recent one too. And then I got an out of print Screen Factory release from uh, Everyday Music, The Vagrant, with Bill Paxton. And then the one that I did not expect, because I didn't even know this was even a thing, Oats Studios Volume 1, the short films that were directed, I believe they were directed by Neil Blomkamp, at least they were produced by him and his company. These were released on YouTube, and I was always wondering whether or not there was an actual physical media release, and apparently there was. And it only cost me $5, and it looks great. It's got all the shorts. It's got Raka, it's got Firebase, it's got Zygote, it's got all of them. So, Oat Studio Volume 1. And the rest here, just more random Blu-rays. So, here we have Blades of Glory, comedy with Will Ferrell and John Heder that I get a kick out of. Hours of Paul Walker. Here we've got a couple Star Trek Blu-rays, because I had First Contact, and I have the original cast films on Blu-ray in their own box set, and I have the reboot series on Blu-ray. But the only Next Generation Star Trek film that I had on Blu-ray was First Contact. So I got these off Amazon Warehouse for super cheap. So we got Generations, and we've got Nemesis. So the only other Star Trek film I really need on Blu-ray now is Insurrection. We got League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I got The Italian Job. It's only a couple bucks. Figured why not. Then we have Nightcrawler. Really excellent thriller with Jake Gyllenhaal. Wanted to get the Blu-ray because the DVD really does not look that great on a 4K TV I've converted. I've noticed this with certain companies. A lot of their DVDs do not upconvert well at all. Other ones upconvert fine, but for some reason, a lot of these newer films have some issues. It seems like they use some really substandard or poor transfer, or the DVD itself is not as high quality or doesn't have as many layers. I don't know what it is, but it's a common thing with DVDs. The Blu-ray is definitely an upgrade and definitely worth it. So Nightcrawler. Got Stitches. Looked like it might be a fun movie. Heard some decent things about it. Then we have a double feature of 3 Days of the Condor and All the President's Men. Expendables 3, because this was a request. Did not have it, so now I do. We got Aspen Extreme from Mill Creek Entertainment. And then last but not least, we have Van Helsing. Film I saw in the theater. Remember not being super big on it, but I've been wanting to revisit it, and I've heard the Blu-ray is actually pretty decent, and I actually popped it in, and it looks great. So that is it for this DVD and Blu-ray update. In terms of an update when it comes to what's coming up next, I got some more reviews of Friday the 13th films. We've got The New Blood coming up pretty soon, and Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. After that, I'm going to start on some other requests. I've got reviews recorded already and ready to go of Aguirre, Wrath of God, and Feed. So for Seth and Joseph, I'm going to get those uploaded pretty soon, within the next couple of days. Maybe even sooner, depending on if this shot knocks me out more than I think it will. So got those ready to go. Seth, I'm going to get started on watching Angst and Possum and Possessor. Possessor is another one. Actually, in fact, while I got it here, I might as well grab Possessor here, now that I'm thinking about it. Possessor. I also picked this one up because it was a request. Got it off Amazon Warehouse. This is not the uncut version, but man, whatever. And I might have shown it in another video, but is what it is. There's one other movie that I did get. I did get another copy of Order of the Phoenix, but the reason why is because it had the slipcover, and this one that I already had doesn't. Just messing with my ADD. Well, not really ADD. It was messing with my obsessive compulsive disorder that I sometimes have when it comes to very specific things. It's a part of my Asperger's. But anyway, I know I'm rambling, but yeah, for those of you who have made requests, Nick, I'm still gonna get around to doing all of your requests. I'm gonna try to get through as many as I possibly can this month. Um, and the same goes for anyone else who has requested something. I know there is a request for Slither. I know there's a request from Mega Pork Chop Express, longtime subscriber and friend of mine, for Hard Rain. And I know, I think there was maybe a couple others. So I will definitely get to those as soon as I possibly can. And I want to say thank you so much for your donations and your support and those requests. And also, I really appreciate your patience. Anyway, that's it. That's it for this update video. Stay tuned for part 2 and for more reviews. And as always, I'll see you later. See ya.